Boy Jay Larone here, uh, going live this morning on my way to work. Real quick, we're gonna talk about this, the Breakfast Club. I know you guys saw it. It's I want to talk about the respect or the lack of respect that we have now for, in general, we don't have no respect for the community. There's no respect, even for. All right, yeah. So yeah, they disrespected Larry Elders, right? Y'all saw that, and a lot of from Charlemagne to DJ Envy to the whoever the girl was with the blonde fucking weave in her hair, the blonde braids, whoever she was, right? Totally disrespectful. She was the most disrespectful from what I saw, right? She was the most blatant disrespectful person on that panel, on that show. So, and what I've noticed, man, a lot of times in the black community is that if we don't agree with you or if we don't like you, we don't like your talking points, we don't like, who you represent, because Larry Elders, he's a Republican. And you can tell that they did not like him because he's a Republican, right? So even if it's to our own detriment, even if the guy is speaking the truth, speaking facts, we're in the black community, we are prone to not like the person, or we're going to disagree and disrespect the person just because we don't agree with him, or just because we don't, like him, right? Even if he's telling the truth, even if it's going to help us, even if somebody is doing something to benefit us, we're not going to support him simply because we don't like him, right? And that's and that's it's messed up, right? And that's why a lot of times we can't get ahead. You know what I'm saying? We can't get ahead because people that might have our best interests, what I'm saying, who might be doing something that will help us, because we don't like them, then we're not going to support them, right? Which is stupid, right? It doesn't make any sense, because a lot of times in the black community we're in our feelings over, what he's a Republican. He's always talking bad about black people. He's always got something negative to say, or blah blah blah, this and that, right? But think about this: if somebody's telling the truth, right? If what he's saying makes sense, if what he's saying is facts, and it can be proven, then what's wrong with that, right? Why wouldn't you support that message, right? Even if you don't like other things that they say, because like even here, like in on YouTube, there are creators that that I listen to, that I subscribe to, that I don't agree with everything they say, right? But I still listen to them because they do make some good points, and there are some things I do agree with. I don't agree with everything the Angry Man says. I don't agree with everything Obsidian says. You know what I mean? And there are others, right? That I listen to that I don't agree with. I don't agree with everything. You know what I mean? But the message, the overall message, is that we need to clean up the black community, right? So I can get with that because we do need to clean it up. And like I said, they do make some points. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of people don't like Fresh and Fit. I don't too much care for Fresh and Fit either, right? But when they are not acting buffoonish and stupid, they do make good points, right? You know what I'm saying? When they talk about men and women are not the same, which we're not. Women are hypergamous, which they are. It's all this, you know what I'm saying? A lot of us, we do have something in common that we agree with. And, like I said, with the black community, a lot of us know that the black community is jacked up. We know that these women out here trying to finesse dudes, putting guys on child support, for no reason. Guys not even a kid and they're on child support. We do know that, a lot of the black women in the community, are just wild. They're fighting it out, out here in Jamaica, on these rafts, getting their back blown out, you know what I'm saying, getting rubbed down in these dirty ass waters on these rafts, these bamboo rafts, by dudes they don't know. But yet they want to project everything that they're doing onto the Passport Bros, which there's no proof nowhere that the Passport Bros are doing anything wrong, right? You know what I'm saying? They can't prove what they're saying. So all they're doing is projecting what they're doing onto the Passport Bros. So it's the hypocrisy, right? We all know that in the black community, there's a lot of hypocrisy going on, right? So for Larry Elder to be on the show speaking facts, and everything he said was true, right? The black community has a problem. We have all these kids, these fatherless kids running around, terrorizing the neighborhood. These baby kids is what I call them. Oh, that's exactly what they are. They're baby kids. They're terrorizers, right? They're out here, just running them up in the black neighborhoods because they don't have any fathers, right? And Larry Elders made a good point, right? When he said that these kids are not afraid of their mothers. That's why they're out here running around, you know, doing these smash and grabs in Walmart and all these other stores, right? Because they don't have a father in their home. If they had a father, a strong presence in their home, I guarantee you they'll be more afraid of that father than they would of these cops, right? And they're not. They're not afraid of these cops at all. They're not afraid of their moms. They're not afraid of the police. That's why they're out here doing this. But if they had a father in their home, somebody who would snatch their asses up and put a stop to that, you know what I'm saying? They wouldn't do it. They would not be doing this, man, if they had a strong father presence in their home. I can think back to when I was young, right? And in my situation, I'm the youngest of three brothers, right? I have two older brothers. So it was three boys in the house. I'm the youngest. Our father passed when I was like 2 years old, right? So I never knew my dad, right? But I had uncles. I had two uncles. My mom is the oldest. She has two younger brothers, right? So my uncles on my mom's side, they were present. My grandfather was present. He was married, right? So we would always go to our grandparents' house during the summer, which was like a 5 minute walk away, right? So, and my brothers would always tell me, "Hey man, you don't want to get whoopings from granddad, cause granddad his whoopings. They used to always talk about how our grandfather, how bad his whoopings were, right? But I never got a whooping from my grandfather. I would get whoopings from my mom all the time, but as a kid, yeah, them whoopings stung. But as I got older, right? As I got older, I think I was about fifth or sixth grade, so I was about maybe 11, somewhere up in there. Um, you know, I was at my grandparents' house. We had some neighborhood kids we used to play with, play football, play basketball with, and stuff like that, right? Because one of the kids had a basketball goal in his backyard. So one summer, man, we was out playing, and for some reason, as kids do, we argue, we fight, and that's what we was doing. We was out there fighting. And word got back to my grandmother that I was over there fighting, and she came and got me, took me back to her house, and I'm thinking I'm just gonna have to, wait till my mom get home, and then my mom would whoop me or something like that. But no, my grandfather came out with that belt. And man, my grandfather snatched me up and tore my ass up, man. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, no, nope, nope. Never again. Never again would I get a whooping from my grandfather. That was the first time that I ever got a whooping from my grandfather. You know what I'm saying? And my brothers they were right, man. My grandfather didn't play. Grandpa did not play. He got that belt and whoa my little ass out. And I'm like, no, that's not the whooping that I normally get from mom. You know what I'm saying? That's not the same type of whooping. So but yeah, I said to myself, man, I'm like, oh no, nope. Never again. I never after that, I never got a whooping from my grandfather. I was like, nope, nope, that's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, that's a different type of whooping, man. And my grandfather at that time was probably about 65, I think 66, somewhere up in there. He might be in mid 60s. Yeah, my grandfather snatched me up, man. And I'm like 11 years old or something like that. I'm starting to get into sports. I was thinking at the time playing little league football, which back then was flag football, right? And I'm starting to feel myself. I'm athletic. I'm getting faster and stronger. So, and yeah, I'm thinking, hey, shit, this whooping ain't gonna be. This gonna be like, just a whooping my mom gave me. You know what I'm saying? Man, my grandfather tore my little ass up. I was sore. I was like, that was a big shock. You know what I'm saying? Going from getting whoopings from your mom to a man to your grandfather. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I never really was that bad of a child where my grandfather had to whoop me. But every now and then I get in some trouble, right? And my mom will whoop me. But yeah, my grandfather saw I was out there fighting, man. My grandfather tore my ass up. I'm like, no, never again will I get a whooping from my grandfather, man. That was a different type of experience right there. That was different. That was way different. So yeah, kids will fear a man, especially a man they will fear if these kids had a father. And the point I'm getting is this: if these kids had a strong father presence in the home, they wouldn't be out here acting a fool like that, man. Just from me being out fighting neighborhood kids and my grandfather, snatching me up, whooping me, and that never happened again. As kids, we still did stupid stuff. We still got into arguments. We still got into little bitty altercations, but never a fight to where, my grandmother had to go get my grandfather to whoop my ass. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, like I said, man. If you got a strong father presence in the home, a lot of things you think about doing, you ain't gonna do. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna do it. So, but Larry Elders was right, man. I mean, he had everything he talked about was absolutely right. It was all facts. You know what I'm saying? You can look it up. You know what I'm saying? All of it's been corroborated and everything. It's not just one stat that somebody put out there and there's no other stats to corroborate it, right? Everything that he talked about, you could see it from different places. There, you know what I'm saying? It's corroborated across the board. Other people, there are other stats on that, on everything he talked about, right? So, but yeah, like I said, man, our community, that's how bad it is now, to where if we don't like you, if we don't agree with you, then we won't support you. Plain and simple. Even if you're right, even if what you're saying is going to help us, we won't support you because we don't like you. Because, oh, I'm a Democrat, you Republican. Since when and just be honest, Democratic Party hasn't done anything for us. I mean, to be honest. And I know y'all don't like hearing that. Some of y'all might not like to hear it. Some, you know it, and a lot of y'all still don't like hearing it. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy because we can know that something is bad for us or something is not helping us, but because we've been ingrained in going that direction, we want to still go that direction, right? The Democratic Party has not really done anything for the Black community as a whole, right? We're still in the same situation. And to be honest, it's not going to get any better, right? And what Larry Elders was saying, as far as, when he's talking about systemic racism and all that, it was more prevalent back then than it is now. A lot of the stuff that we're doing wrong, we're doing it wrong. It's not because of systemic racism. It's because we're wanting a fucking handout. You know what I'm saying? A lot of Black people thinking, oh, we still owe reparations, la da da da. To be honest, we're not going to get it. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to get reparations. They're not going to give it to us. So what we need to do is just work together and build healthy communities, right? Start doing stuff for yourself and quit waiting on people to give you a fucking handout, because it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, right? And like I said, because first of all, in order for us to get reparations, the United States, which they're not going to do, has to admit that slavery was wrong, and they're not going to do that. They're not going to admit slavery was wrong, even though we know it was. But remember, at that time, slavery was legal. Slavery was legal. Even though we hate to hear it, we don't want to acknowledge it. A lot of us don't. But slavery was legal. Now, I'm not making excuses for it. We all know that was, it wasn't kind to Black folks. It wasn't kind to us at all, to our ancestors or nothing like that. We're still scarred from it. We all have all these, these issues because of slavery, right? But you can't ignore the fact that slavery was legal. I'm not saying that that's right, but I'm just saying that's the truth. It was legal. So putting that out there, like I said, in order for them, and just, man, they just No, it's not going to happen. I hate to say it. I know a lot of people want to keep hope alive. It ain't going to happen. Like I said, the United States would have to admit that slavery was wrong. They're not going to do it. You still got people today talking about, oh, slavery ain't that bad. Slavery wasn't that bad. So no, it ain't. It's not going to happen, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can hate me if you want to for saying that, but it is what it is, right? And another point Larry Elders made was when he talked about um, the loans, right? When he talked about, redlining, and black people weren't getting these loans even though they had the same credit as the white folks. They had good. You can still have good credit. You can have an 800 credit score, right? You can have an 800 credit score, be making $45,000 a year, but you're $90,000 in debt. What is your debt to income ratio looking like? I don't care. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Even with the 800 credit score, and then, a lot of these places want you to put 20% down, right? And how many black folks got 20% down, even though they got a good credit score? But what you make and what you owe are two different things. You know what I'm saying? Your debt to income ratio is bad. So what bank is really going to give you a loan, and then you don't have no money in the bank? You don't have 20% down, and then you got to have. I think now it's still. I know at one point you had to have at least 6 months worth of mortgage payments in the bank or some shit like that. So you had to have some money in the bank. You know what I'm saying? And how many of us are really saving money like that? So it ain't that it's a racial thing. It's just that a lot of the loans we just didn't qualify for, or we don't qualify for. And even back then, like Larry Elder said that shit, they, they Obama and them sued. What was it, Chase Bank or one of them banks? That they even sued the bank, and the bank decided to give black folks loans. And guess what happened? They checked back years later, and the loans were defaulted. So you sitting up here screaming about loans that you can't even fucking afford to pay on. And the bank saw that. The bank said, hey, your credit's bad. You're not paying your bills. You know what I'm saying? Your credit's bad. You're not paying your bills. Why would any bank give you a loan? If you were a bank and somebody came to you with bad credit, low income, you know what I'm saying, no credit history of paying anything back, you will get that. That's a high risk. What bank gives out high risk loans? I mean, everything he said was true. Was true. You know what I'm saying? It was factual. He did not make up one lie, right? So, but still, he was disrespected on that show, and that made the whole Breakfast Club to me look bad. Now, there were those who comment saying, I've seen online where people were saying, "Oh, the Breakfast Club cooked Larry Elders. The Breakfast Club gave Larry Elders that work." Breakfast Club, y'all didn't do a damn thing. Y'all look stupid and ignorant. And Charlemagne with his, what did white people do? What do white people do wrong? From a man who named himself after Charles the Great. Don't know who Charles the Great is? Like Jason Black say, look it up. Look up who Charles the Great is. If I was. But Charlemagne the God named himself after this. Anyway, but you know what I'm saying? It's stupid. It's like they were arguing for no reason, basically because they didn't like Larry Elder. A lot of the points Larry Elders was making, they was arguing the same point that they've made before in the past. The Breakfast Club has agreed to a lot of the points that Larry Elders was talking about, but the only reason they agreed was because these talking points came from somebody that they liked. You know what I'm saying? So, and that in itself tells you they came into this conversation being disingenuous. They knew when they were going to speak to Larry Elder that they were going to act that way, that they were going to, you know what I'm saying, It was just going to be pretty much a free for all. Just go in at him, disagree with everything, even though y'all know he's right. You know, what was the point in that? But it made you look bad. It made the Breakfast Club, it made those fools on the Breakfast Club look bad. And I guarantee you, I don't know, it could be a month from now, somebody else will come on the show saying the same thing Larry Elder said, but it'll be somebody that they like and agree with, and they will be like, oh yeah, you're right, you're right, you're right. The black community does have a problem. You know, we do need more fathers in the household. You know, I mean, it's stupid, right? But because they don't like him, they just go disagree with everything that he says, just because they don't like him. And that's, like I said, that's the problem with our community. Just because we don't like you, even though you're right, but since I don't like you, I'm in my feelings, I'm not going to agree with you. Policies that you can implement might help our situation. I don't like you, so I'm not going to deal with you. It's just like in business, man. It be guys that have good ideas, you know what I'm saying, be telling facts, be telling the truth, but because he might not be a Christian, or because he might use foul language, he might cuss after every other sentence. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we can't do business with you. No. Even though what he's presenting is ingenious and can make a lot of money and is legit, legal. You know what I'm saying? All the ducks are lined up, all the checks are crossed, all the T's, ducks in a row, all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed. No. You're not a Christian? Oh no. Oh, you cuss too much? No. I mean, really? That's what I'm saying. It's like it's stupid, right? And I've seen it. I've witnessed it. I've witnessed guys. I've witnessed people in the community not do business with certain people because they didn't go to church. They weren't Christian. They had different beliefs, or they could be, like I said, might cuss too much. You know what I'm saying? What does that have to do with the business side, right? Just because you and your feelings and your emotions over how somebody talk, or because they don't have your same belief, has nothing to do with what they can help you with as far as making money and helping the community. It's crazy. Would refuse to do business with a guy because he wasn't Christian, because he cussed too much. I'm like, y'all, man, this is crazy. But like I said, I've seen it so many times in our community, man. Like I said, and I know guys, people I went to school with, doing good in business, has great work ethic, and people just won't deal with them because they don't like the fact that, oh, you're not a Christian, you don't go to church. Really? I mean, just messing up they, you know what I'm saying? Just it doesn't make it. I mean, it's like, it's shocking to me, man. It's like I'm just blown away. All you can do is just shake your head and walk off. You're like, well, that's a dummy. He is. They idiots anyway. I mean, you can't. Some people you just can't get through to. You cannot get through to everybody. A lot of people will be like, well, hey, that's just a loss we're gonna have to take, because we're not doing business with this dude because he's not in church and he cussed too much. I mean, come on now. But yeah, like I said, we do it to ourselves. Like I said, the black community it's jacked up, all because we don't like somebody because of what side they're leaning to. If I don't like you, I can't do business with you, even though you're right, even though you make sense. But let this clown from another sector come over. Oh, we like him. We like him. Oh, what he said? Oh, yeah. Just said the same thing that this guy over here said. But you didn't like what this guy said. But this guy over here said the same thing, but y'all like him, so y'all agree. Make that shit make sense, right? You can not agree with somebody and still be respectful, right? Even if you don't like that person, you can still be respectful and disagree. You know what I'm saying? If I don't like you, if you're not my cup of tea, but if you're saying something that makes sense, it is what it is. Okay, you're right. I can humble myself enough to say, okay, even though I don't agree with you on this and this and this, but at this point right here, yeah, I can agree. That makes sense. What's so hard about that? We all caught up in our egos to where, no, if I agree with him, man, people gonna think I'm a sucker. People gonna think I'm weak. People gonna think I'm a sellout. No, you just agreeing with a point that's right, that's valid. It's called being a fucking human being. It's called being smart, being respectful, having some common sense. It's a trip, man. But yeah, so I just wanted to get that off my chest, man. It's like I was watching that, man. I was like, God. And every time that girl came, whatever her name is, I can't remember her name. But whoever she was with them damn blonde ass locks or weed, whatever she had in her head, that blonde shit she had in her head, whoever she was, that was like, in school when the teacher takes the chalk and runs it across the chalkboard. That's how it felt every time. Every time I heard her voice, it was like just somebody getting chalk or nails and running it across the damn blackboard. God damn. I mean, really. I'm telling you, every time it's like every time she opened her mouth, I kid you not, the B word was in my mouth. I mean, I'm just being straight up. Every time she opened her mouth, I'm like, B, you know, that that B word that was flowing on a regular. Like, shut the F up. I mean, it was that shit was it was nerve wracking. I'm telling you, it was nerve wracking. Any man who didn't get triggered off of that bullshit. If you a guy, I know you got triggered. You had to get triggered off of hearing her talk. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who heard her say a word had to get triggered. That was crazy. I couldn't. I don't understand how Larry Elders could sit up there and listen to that. Right? It was triggering. He did a good job. Larry Elders did a good job of sitting there and putting up with that mess on Breakfast Club, man. He did a real good job of doing that. But hey, that's all I wanted to talk about, man. But yeah, you guys drop some comments down below, man. Let me know what y'all think about what happened on the Breakfast Club, on how that crap was handled. You know what I mean? As far as, how Charlamagne them reacted, what went down with talking points. If y'all agree with Larry Elders, if he made sense or if he didn't, whatever you guys thought about it, leave some comments down below. It's your boy Jay Larone. Y'all, please be good to yourself by all means. Let's be good to one another. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.